Donald Trump took to Truth Social in the early morning hours this morning to rail against the judge in his Manhattan District criminal case where he was convicted of 34 felonies. But not just the Manhattan District, also all of his cases. And he went on to almost come close to defaming E. Jean Carroll again in this post. He's saying things like, he was so unfairly treated by the judge. The judge made a case when there was none. Well, the judge doesn't set up the case. That's the prosecution. The judge just oversees the case. Judge didn't make up the charges. The judge didn't do anything. And then swears about how it was so unfair. He was illegally prosecuted and he was being treated so evilly, which none of that is true. In fact, if anything, he was given preferential treatment because of how many delays he got, how many extensions. And if he would have been a normal person and not a presidential candidate, he would have been sentenced back in July and probably sentenced to prison. As it stands, it sounds like he is going to be getting an unconditional discharge, which basically means, yes, you are convicted, but no, we cannot punish you in the way we would normally. And no fine, no probation, no jail time, but it just stays on your record. Now, Donald Trump and his team are expected to appeal to a higher court to stop this sentencing from happening until after Donald Trump is out of office, which would be unfortunate, but I could see that actually happening. But Donald Trump continued on and saying about how Joe Biden and Kamala Harris appointed Jack Smith. No, they didn't. That was Merrick Garland. Joe Biden had nothing to do with it. Went on talking about the FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago, which wasn't really a raid. It was a search that was authorized by a judge after seeing evidence of probable cause, where they found documents that Donald Trump had in his possession when he wasn't supposed to. And it was nowhere close to the level of raid Donald Trump likes to say, because it was organized with Donald Trump's own legal team. They knew that the FBI was coming when, and they did it at a time when Donald Trump and the press would not be around. Donald Trump has been getting preferential treatment by the justice system, but he likes to rail that he is being treated so unfairly. This is how he always is. If things don't go his way, it's rigged against him. He's being treated unfair. He's a constant victim. He can never take accountability for anything he has done. And when he is confronted with it, obviously, he has to make it somebody else's fault. Somebody else is clearly doing something wrong, something illegal, something immoral, what have you, because there's no way he could possibly be wrong. This is just a sign of his character and an example of what we are going to have to deal with for the next 4 years again. The only silver lining is after 2029, he can no longer run for president or vice president, and he will probably be in no condition to hold any public office after that. So at least then we won't have to deal with his constant whining.